Your biggest opponent is always going to be the lower version of yourself that pulls you from the greatness that's reserved for you. Your biggest enemy, your biggest op is not out there. Yeah, you might have some haters, you might have some people in your life that just talking shit and they got nothing else better to do and they just want to pull you down behind the scenes. Fuck those guys. Matter of fact, if you do have those people in your life, some haters, then that means you're doing something good. That means you're on the right track. If you have jealous people, if you have snakes trying to fucking cut you down, that means you're already great in other people's eyes. But fuck them. This has got nothing to do with the external world. What's up? It's your boy Fred, aka It's Yours. And today I want to be talking about who the real enemy is, or who I believe the real op is. Look, I believe the real enemy out there is the lower version of yourself. The lowest frequency. This entity, this voice, this dark side has many names. The shadow self, the devil on your shoulder, the low vibrational part of everybody, or the ego. We'll just stick with the ego because it's everyone has an ego. I believe that ego, that lower frequency version of us, which does exist in every one of us, is the biggest op. All the battles that we lose to ourselves because we fall to the negative thoughts that are dominant in our minds. We fall short because we lose trust and belief in ourselves to move forward. And to me, that is the true enemy, is the enemy within the lower version of yourself. Because I believe this is the biggest entity. This is the biggest op, this is the biggest enemy because it's you. And I believe it's always going to be you versus you. It's always going to be a push and pull battle between the highest version of yourself, which I believe everybody should aim towards always, versus the lower version of yourself. And for me, I like to think of my lower version as a little fucking asshole, like bitch ass, selfish, egotistical manipulator who refuses to let me go and tap into the highest version of myself, because that's a scary thought. The conditioning that I previously may have had with me wanting to be comfortable. With us humans, we choose the path of least resistance because it's easier, it's more convenient. We feel safer when we're around familiar surroundings. I get that. So every time my lower version sees me making these moves to better myself and to jump in the deep end with no life jacket, burning the boats, as a popular saying, the old version, the op, the enemy, freaks the fuck out because they don't want to see me win. They don't want to see me go big, because in the old conditioned mind, the lower self's mindset is the success is scary because it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to manage for that mindset, for that entity. But the thing is, that success and that reserved greatness for me is reserved for the man strong enough to carry on with it. Not the little boy who doesn't want to do anything and stay put. Because that's the enemy talking. That's the devil on my shoulder. The whole, we're okay here. We're safe here. Everything's good here. Why should we challenge ourselves? Why should we apply any sort of pressure? Like, things are good here. Let's just stay here. That voice is a dangerous voice because it sounds like you. It is you. It's a familiar voice and a familiar feeling. And there's a lot of men out there that fall short to this voice and become bitter and move throughout this world with like a lot of resentment. I've seen it a lot, and I know we're better than this. I know we're fucking better than this. That voice can creep up on you and lie to you, makes you fall into all sorts of silly temptations, all sorts of comfort zones, and you don't want to be that man child that's bitter and angry at every man out there that's actually like putting in the work in their lives. The biggest enemy is the lower version of yourself that is scared to move forward, scared to think big, scared to take the risk, scared to grow and go beyond. You know, it's easy to fall short to that little voice. We all have that little voice. But what we should be doing is following the big voice. The big voice that knows that we need to take the risk. The big voice that knows that, you know, we are more than this. You know, we're capable of greatness. You know, we're more than enough. That's the voice that we should lean into. Because that's the voice that plants the good seeds for us to like build the tree. Build the tree that cannot be fucked with. We shouldn't be paying attention to the little fucking weeds, you know, the dying grass. What's the point of that? I like to think of this like this lower weak energy as like a crazy ex-partner. You know, the crazy ex-partner that refuses to let you go or see you happy with someone else. That ex-partner will do anything in the power to keep you here or to sabotage your future and sabotage your success. That's the same energy that our lower vibrational being has. And it's our job to focus on what's going to help us grow, what's going to help us go to the finish line so we can tick off more goals and accomplish more and be more. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be falling short to this lower vibrational fucking voice or you know entity that we have. The thing I like to think about this is that the biggest battle that we'll ever face will always be the age-old tale of, you know, it's you versus you. It's always gonna be you versus you. And when you can conquer the inner battle, and when you can be victorious in the inner battle, you'll win any fucking external battle, external beef that comes at you. Because the real battle is within. And this is why I always believe that you gotta let go and let God. God has gifted us with everything we've ever needed internally. And when that gets corrupted, and you know, when that gets corrupted and we begin to struggle, we don't need to add any more into our plate. We just need to reduce what we don't need. And what we don't need is the voice that tells us that we're not enough. That's the voice that tells us we're not good enough. We should turn around. We should U-turn from our mission. Stay parked here because this is where we feel safe. But it's not the fucking time to play safe, boys. This is not the fucking time to play safe. We must go all the way in. They say burn the boats. 100% agree with that. You know, I know what it's like to play safe, and I know what it's like to fucking have a crack and run that shit up. And every time I've had a crack and run that shit up, whether it's through any career or creative or entrepreneurial endeavor, you know, I've always come out like, holy shit, like I fucking did that shit. And it's always turned out better than expected. That's how I know, you know, God's always got you. But I've also listened to the devil, the other little sneaky quiet voice that goes, hey, we're all good here. There's no need for us to, you know, we're not built for that. We're not big enough for that. Fuck that shit. The battle is always going to be you versus you. And the greatest part is you get to decide who the winner is. Is it going to be the lowest evil? I shouldn't say evil, but are you going to let the lower vibrational be the reason why you stay stuck and stay stagnant for the next 20, 30 years? Or that same amount of time is going to pass, and are you going to follow the higher voice, the voice of God that's leading you to where you know you should be going, because that's who you're built for? I know who I'm going to listen to. I know where I'm going. These are the battles that we face. The battle is one within. Any other battle that comes from the world, the outside, that's nothing. You will fucking slap the shit out of that because you've conquered within. Choose who the winner is. It's your boy Fred, aka It's Yours. Thanks for watching.